Come on down, step right up. All right. Let's see who we got here. All right, let's see. We got Jocelyn, Vanjie, Zoe, Brianna, Caitlin, Sarah, and Anna, Addie, Grace, Aniston, Grace, Lily, Vidalia, Gabby, and a couple little ones. All right, good. We got all of us here. All right, we're going to start with seeing how much you remember some of your Hebrew history. So David was king there in Israel, and then he dies and passes off the scene. Who takes his place? Come on. Most of you are Christian schooled or homeschooled. Who's the king after David? Lily? Thank you. It's not a trick question. And God came to Solomon and he told him something in a dream. What did he tell him? Come on, somebody else. Caitlin, you're in Bible college. Tell me. You don't remember? He gave him a choice. What did he do? All right. He did. He asked for wisdom. And in 2 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 12, it says, "Wisdom and knowledge is granted unto thee, and I will give thee riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had that have been before thee, neither shall there be any after the like." So he not only gave him wisdom, he gave him wealth, honor, peace in his kingdom. He had a lot going for him. I mean, he was really rich. He was like Jeff Bezos rich. He was Elon Musk rich. Okay. Actually, he was a little better than Elon Musk because he also had power to do what he wanted. See, old Elon, very recently, he wanted to give himself a bonus of $56 billion. And the state he was in said, no. And so he just moved to a different state, and I think they actually granted it. But, just, a bonus for doing a good job, $56 billion. So Solomon didn't even have to worry about that because he was the king. He could basically do whatever he wanted. And again, he was very wise, so God allowed him to write 3 books of the Bible. Who can give me one? His name is in one. Come on. Song of Solomon, there's one. What's another one? Just yell it out. Proverbs, and the third is Ecclesiastes, and that's where we're going to be today. We're going to be in Ecclesiastes, if you want to turn there, chapter 1 and 2. And I kind of love this book of the Bible because, so have you ever heard the phrase that genius is close to madness? I feel like Solomon was walking that line a little bit. There's actually a theory behind that, and the theory says that our brains are all the time throwing out ideas, but then there's a little filter in our brain that prevents the crazy ideas from getting to the conscious mind, and that people whose filter's a little bit broken, they get crazy ideas, and then some of those turn into really cool inventions and theories of relativity and all of those kind of things. So Solomon was a little bit in that place. And he was also like a lot of you guys probably this summer. If I can tell you the 2 words, well, one of them is a contraction, but the 2 words that every child has said to their parents already this summer, what are they? I'm bored. I'm bored, all right? I have so much, all of you are just waiting for summer to start. I know Vidalia's got like this much left. One day, and then she's there. She can relax, and then she can be bored. But think of, I'm bored. And so, what do? You sit there and you scroll through your phone. You get up and you look in the refrigerator. You look in the pantry. You sit back down. You scroll through the streaming service. And just nothing seems to be interesting. Nothing is gratifying. And that's where Solomon finds himself in the book of Ecclesiastes. Look at chapter 1, verse 1. It says, "The words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity." Think about that word in your mind. Get a working definition. Think about what that word means. Everybody got it? What's your idea? What do you think? Sarah? No clue? All right, what about Vanjie? You got an idea of what vanity means? In vain, yes, that's a different usage of the same word, but not quite the definition. Nothing, all right. Sometimes the best way to examine what a word means is to think about its opposite word. So I'm going to propose that the opposite of the word vanity would be satisfaction. Satisfied. You guys know what that is, right? After Thanksgiving meal, when you've had your pie and you're sitting back and it's warm and cozy and you're satisfied. The opposite would be that vanity, that empty hunger, boredom, lack of satisfaction, lack of gratification. You see the opposite there? So Solomon's having this problem. He's like, it's all vanity. There's nothing satisfying. And remember, all-powerful, very, very rich, can do basically whatever he wants. And so he starts this experiment. He's like, what would satisfy? So he goes through several different things that I want to look at. The first is in verse 12 of chapter 1. I, the preacher, was king over all Jerusalem. Now take note that he was very famous. Now I don't think any of you would fall into this category, but I have met some some teenagers who would say that, man, if I could just be TikTok famous, then I would be happy. Are there any influencers in the room? Anybody who posts on social media like you do reviews or anything? Okay, good. But there are people out there. If I could just be famous for my sports ability, for my music ability, for my ability to lip sync this random song on the internet, they think if I could just be famous, then I will be happy. Notice Solomon was already very famous. He was the king. Everybody knew who he was. So then the next verse it says, "And I gave my heart to seek and search out wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of men to be exercised therewith." So he's tried education first. Some of you are going to say amen to this part. He tried education, and it did not work. He says, "I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit." I know some of you are seniors. We've got some seniors over here, right? Like, think of one more year. If I could just get through one more year. Some of you are in college. Caitlin's like, 2 more years, man. 2 more years, then I'm going to be free. I went back to grad school a couple years ago to get my master's, and just get me through this time of life. Some of you think, if I could just accomplish this thing, if I could get through my education, then I will be satisfied. Then I will be happy. But he says, no, it's vanity. It's vexation. In fact, it's vexation of spirit. Most of you can agree with that, right? It's vexation of spirit. In chapter 2, though, he goes on. He said, "I said unto my heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity." So he said, I'm going to try pleasure. I'm going to try whatever makes me happy. Now, for me, this would be a stack of books, a cup of coffee, a rainy day. This sounds so good, doesn't it? All right, what about you? What would bring you the most pleasure? If you could do anything you wanted, Grace, what would you do? Ride roller coasters? You're a roller coaster fan. Yeah, ride roller coasters all day, right? All day, every day, not even get sick. I wish I was that young again. What about somebody, Vidalia, what would you do? Go fishing? Okay, so catching fish. All right, what would be your ideal pleasure? If I could just do this every day of my life, I would be happy. Nothing? Hang out with your friends. Enjoy your hobby. What if you could do that every day of your life? Some of us, we all, we just can't wait to get to that weekend or that special event. So, okay, then I'm going to be happy. If I could just get to this event. I'm planning a vacation in a couple weeks, and it cannot come soon enough. But if I could just get there, then I will be satisfied. Then I will be happy. That's what Solomon tried. And he had all the time in the world. He didn't have to do anything. He could have spent his entire days just doing whatever made him feel good. He said, this is vanity. Didn't help. It left me empty. It didn't satisfy my soul. He said, I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in my heart also to give myself to wine, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. So he said, you know what? I know this is foolishness, but I'm going to be a little bit reckless for a while and see if that works. And some of you good girls, been raised in good homes, maybe you think, man, if my mom wasn't so strict, when I get out of the house and I can do whatever I want to, then I'm going to be happy. I can be a little bit reckless. I can, I don't know. I don't know what you girls imagine. Most of you are good girls. I don't think you're doing this. But just in case, he said, I'm just going to give myself over to recklessness. I'm going to give myself to wine, just whatever I want to, just to see if that's going to make me happy. He wanted to walk a while on the other side. Most of you have all walked on the good girl side. Maybe that other side you think, maybe that's where the happiness is. Solomon tried it. Did it work? No, I'm still empty. It still didn't work. He tried education. He tried being popular. He tried pleasure. He tried revelings, is what I put in my Bible, but recklessness, partying, that kind of thing. He said, I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruit. I made me pools of water therewith, with wood that bringeth forth trees. So he tried success. He tried building something, doing something great. He tried success. Some of you might think, if I could just accomplish this thing, maybe it's a sports award that you would want. For me, in high school, I competed for valedictorian. All 4 years of high school. It was like a fierce competition. There was a few of us that were competing for it. And so everything that I did, every class that I chose, everything was about that goal. If I could just get that goal, then I'm going to be somebody. I'm going to be, I couldn't play sports at all. Still can't. But I thought if I could just accomplish that thing, then that will make me happy. I didn't. I got second. I got salutatorian, but nobody cared. Yeah, I got to give a little speech, but nobody cares. Nobody even remembers that today. But he built some great things. He built Solomon's temple. I mean, that's like one of the if you ever read through what all went involved in that, it was an amazing accomplishment. One that God didn't allow his father to complete, but allowed him to complete. He completed that. He had his name even on it. We call it today Solomon's Temple. Even though it's the temple for God, we still call it Solomon's Temple because he's the one that built it. He wanted that success, to have his name on something. We were talking earlier about Alan Jay. His name's on like half the buildings in town. If you could like have your name on something, this is yours. Look at what you built. Wouldn't that make you happy? Didn't work. It was still vanity. He was still empty. It didn't work. So then he goes to the next verse, verse 7. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also, I had great possessions of great and small. All right, first of all, he has servants, so he has ease. How many of you would like to never have to clean your room again? Me too. If you could have somebody who would do all of those things, do your grocery shopping for you, oh man, that's that. If Instacart didn't keep getting the nasty fruit, I would I would go for it more often. But they keep giving me I'm like, did you not look at this? Somebody to do your things for you. Wouldn't that be nice? So that if I just didn't have to do my homework, if I could just have AI do my homework, that's coming, guys. It's coming. AI, do all your homework. Have a robot clean your room. Then I would be happy if I didn't have all of these responsibilities that I had to do. That's a great lie that we tell ourselves even as adults. Sorry, guys. It keeps going, even into adulthood. If I can just get past this responsibility, then things will be easier. And it's gotten to the point where when Pastor and I say that to each other, we just laugh because we're like, it's not going to happen. There's something else. There's always something else. If I could just get through these responsibilities, if I just didn't have this burden on me right now, then I would be happy. Well, Solomon had that. He had servants. He didn't have to do anything. He said he also got himself possessions, great and small, cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before men. I gathered me also silver and gold and precious treasure of kings and of the providence. Money. You know, they say money doesn't make the world go round, but it sure does grease the wheels. If I just had money. I know Brianna just got a job. Woohoo! Yes, but if I just had all that money, you wouldn't even have to work. And this was like roll around in money. Like none of you know who Scrooge McDuck is anymore, do you? Jump in that big pile of money and just enjoy, this was money is kind of boring these days. It's just paper, and most of the time it's just on a plastic card. But this was like tiaras and pearls and all these big jewels just to play with. That would be kind of cool. And I've told the Lord before. I'm like, I know money comes with problems, but I would like to try those out if you don't mind. Money. If I just had a little bit more money, if I could just get that raise, if I could just get past this bill, if we could just finish paying off this car, or this house, or this college loan, whatever it is, and I had a little bit more money, then I would be happy. Did it make Solomon happy to have all of that money? Did it fulfill him? Did it give him satisfaction? No. It didn't. And he had lots of it. And then he says, I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. To put that in today's vernacular, he had his own home entertainment system, all right? His whole home theater. I had a friend like that once in high school who had a home theater. It was so cool. One of those rooms that they have, this has no windows and has that big, it was so neat. Those were tax evasion rich people. But he had those kind of singers that he didn't have to go to the concert. He didn't have to turn on the radio or buy the CD. They came there to entertain him. He tried entertainment. Streaming platforms. How many of you, let's just see. How many of you have at least one game on your phone? Everybody? Jocelyn's back there. That you can play. Maybe you collect coins, or you build farms, or you match up gems, or Candy Crush, or whatever it is. And you might spend a couple hours on it, 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there. to bring you joy. Does it work? No, because there's always that next level, right? That next level that you got to beat. I can't believe the number of TV shows that my kids could go through now. Like, when I was a kid, there was, I don't know, like 5 TV shows at a time. And if you watched the entire thing, it would just start all over again. You just watch it again. Now there's so many, and they consume them so fast. You realize that a company will spend a year or more making a show, and then when they release it to streaming, people watch the entire season in 2 days. That's how fast it can. Okay, so I do have a friend that wrote a book, and it took him 3 years to read the book, and I read it in 2 days, and I was like, all right, where's the next one? So yeah, books are the same way. But we consume entertainment so fast. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we're so obsessed with consuming, trying to fill the void of silence, right? Trying to get some gratification out of the day, some enjoyment out of life. Not just those kind of things, but theme parks. I know some of you went to Busch Gardens yesterday, right? That was fun. That's great. You did? Did you ride the big rides?
Yeah. And there was one roller coaster that's called Dystopian.
Okay.
I was on it. It was so fun.
Okay, those are great things. Uh-huh.
It was so fun.
Those are fun things. But entertainment is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We are consuming it so fast, trying to find satisfaction, trying to find gratification. It didn't work for Solomon. So he tried all these things. He tried fame, fortune, education, pleasure, reckless partying, success, ease, wealth, entertainment, things. It says, so I was great and increased more than all they that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. Wouldn't that be nice? I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. He didn't keep anything from himself. Can you imagine? Just going. I wouldn't go to Walmart. I would go somewhere else. I would go somewhere fancier. Just be, I'll take that, and I'll take 2 of those, and get 1 of those for yourself. And just, anything you wanted. Wouldn't that be neat? Or even, I know us moms probably, like going to like a bakery with pastries, and just being like, I'll take 2 of those and 3 of those, and just being able to consume whatever you wanted. Wouldn't that be nice? Whatever your eyes wanted, you just gave yourself. That's what he did. Now, and I do have to put in here too. It doesn't mention it here, but as we are young ladies, some of you might be thinking, like, this isn't touching me, this isn't reaching me, I don't have these problems. Maybe some of you are thinking, if I could just get married, then I'm going to be happy. Then I'm going to be fulfilled. I won't need anything else in life if I could just get married. Right? Come on, Caitlin, you're real close. You're like real close. Remember Solomon? Does anybody remember how many wives he had? It was like 500 wives and 400 concubines, or the other way around. Anyway, it was close to 1,000. Do you think that brought him any happiness? You'd think he would stop if it did. Some women get to the point where if I could just have a child, and sadly some ladies can't, and it causes a real hole in their life, a real desire that's not fulfilled. It does happen. But all of those things, those things that you could come up with, If I could just, then I would be. Maybe you have something like that. If I could just, then I would be happy. It doesn't really stop. If I could just get a new car, then I would be happy. If I could just get a new house, then I would be happy. Well, that house is too small. I need a bigger house. Then I would be happy. If the church would just be this size, then I would be happy. If the church would just be this size, then I would be happy. We're always looking for that satisfaction. Solomon had the means to try out every single thing. And sometimes I would encourage you to read through the rest of Ecclesiastes to see all of the different things that he talks about that are vanity. He even talks about everything that he built, and he built an amazing kingdom, but realized that in 2 generations it was all gone because of the choices of his children, because of the choices of his son, that he lost all of that great stuff that he built up was gone. But I do want to turn your attention to Psalm 107, verse 9. It says, "For he satisfieth the longing soul, and filleth the hungry soul with goodness. Such as sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, being bound in affliction and iron." This is quite a bit different from Solomon's situation. "Because they rebelled against the words of God and condemned the counsel of the Most High. Therefore he brought down their heart with labor. They fell down, and there was none to help. Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble, and he saved them out of their distress. He brought them out of darkness and of the shadow of death, and brake their bands asunder. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men." Notice this did not involve riches. Did not involve things. This was somebody who was shackled in darkness, and the Lord set them free. That is where the satisfaction comes from. "Fools, because of their transgression and because of their iniquities, are afflicted. Their soul abhorreth all manner of meat, and they draw near unto the gates of death. And then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, and he saveth them out of their distress. He sent his word and healed them and delivered them from their destructions. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men." I hope you've tasted of the goodness of the Lord. And I hope that you, as young ladies, because I know all of those things, you feel like you're always just in preparation as a teenager. You're always preparing for the next thing. If you're in middle school, you're preparing for high school. If you're in high school, you're preparing for college. If you're in college, you're preparing for your career. It just feels like everything is you're just waiting. You can find satisfaction in the Lord right now. Right here. You don't have to wait for a job and a husband and children and a home and all of those things, because those things can never satisfy. Yes, they're good, and I hope the Lord gives them to you. But that is not where your satisfaction comes from. It comes from your relationship with the Lord. Because after you get those things, problems are going to happen. Cars are going to break down. Jobs are going to lay you off. Husbands are going to do something stupid and upset you. Children are going to be ridiculous and fight you on everything that you want them to do that's good for them. Bad things will happen if you can come back to that place. I always think of it like the center of a storm. We have some new people to Florida this year, right? You guys are new to Florida, right? No? You've been up north in Florida, right? The blocks are new to Florida. They haven't gotten to do the whole hurricane season thing yet. You know, in the hurricane, there's the eye of the storm, and then everything else is moving around on the outside, and it's chaotic. If you are in the center with Jesus, then you're safe. Now, sometimes our lives get really hectic. It gets crazy, and you just need to step out of that, step back into the middle, with it just you and Jesus. That's your safe place. Safe place. That's where your satisfaction is. That's where your joy comes from. What are the fruits of the Spirit? Joy, love, temperance, peace. You can find those there in that center. And then you can deal with all of that stormy, messy stuff that's squirming around. If you take one thing from this, realize that no matter what happens, God is good to you. And you can have that joy with him in the midst of the storm. Let's go ahead and have a word of prayer. Dear Lord, I thank you so much for these girls. I ask that you would help each one to find their joy, find their satisfaction, find the fulfillment of their life in you now, that they wouldn't wait until they have accomplished this or finished that or done some great work, that even now that they would have that complete fulfillment. Lord, I ask that you would help if any of them are in some sort of storm or stress or mess, that you would help them step out of it and back to the center with you. Lord, I pray for the desires of our heart. Many of us have something that we wish would happen, that we wish would be fulfilled. Lord, I ask that you would give us patience in those things, give us wisdom and direction, but also help us to be satisfied with your will. For as in your son's name I pray, amen. All right. I don't know if the men are done, but you guys have some time to talk.